Hi everyone, I'm back with another video. I know it's a bit random. I don't think I've posted in like 4 months, and you're probably wondering, well, then why are you posting a video now? It's the middle of the Valorant off season, and it's because I came across this video. Originally, I saw it on TikTok, and then George Geddes here so posted it and it went kind of viral on Twitter. So I'm just gonna play the clip out just to give some context so you can understand what we're kind of talking about today.
Shock dart. Where is this going?
Oh, dude. Oh, I love how the observer's also like, yeah, what is this?
And it's basically the whole clip. So it's kind of, the joke is that RB on Derek's, he missed his kind of shock dart. And when I saw this, I was like, that's kind of funny. This match doesn't really mean much because it's just for like a kind of low-key for fun tournament. So I guess it didn't mean much. And then I kind of started looking at the comments and I saw this one right here. And it said it's an anti-recon dart. And I didn't really think of that at the beginning. And so after I saw that, I scrolled back to the beginning of the video and I just had a look at the minimap. You can't really see it that well here, but I actually put up the VOD, or the original game that it was from. Here we have it, DRX versus Talon. And I looked at the minimap and I realized, wait, it actually makes perfect sense that it's an anti-recon dart. Because I'd never seen that before. I've obviously seen a shock dart being used to break util, but I've never really seen it as anti-recon dart, or not recently. And it actually made a lot of sense in the context of this round. So that's kind of what I wanted to show off. So we're just going to just jump straight into it. So first of all, this is what the map state looks like pre-round. So let's just break down the util that we have set up and the positioning. So on the side of Talon, we have 3 towards B main, so they're playing heavy stack towards B main, 1 mid, and then 1 on A. So the idea here is that these 2 players, the Sage and the Sova, towards the A side of the map, they want to play quite passive, make sure they don't give away any free kills, and just try and get as much info as they can without risking their lives. While the people on B main, they're probably going to try and do a more aggressive play, probably play off the contact of the turret, Killjoy turret that they have, and that's basically the main gist of it. But on the side of DRX, we have kind of the opposite. We have this A heavy setup. We have 3 towards A main, you'll see it soon, but we also have 2 towards mid, and then 0 towards this B main side. So what they do here is they have the chamber trip set up in case, because they're watching the other 2 sides of the map, so in case the B main push happens, as well as this Viper wall. The reason that's there is to kind of help sell a fake a little bit. I think most teams like to kind of put this Viper wall there as like a default at pre-round, but it's also there to kind of help sell the fake. So I'm just going to play out the video so you can kind of see what's happening.
The standard here for a lot of these teams. Early shock dart.
I'm just going to mute the video as well because we know what happens. The classes laugh. I don't think in the moment they realized. A bit of context, the reason why they laughed is because apparently, since this is kind of a low budget tournament, the observers weren't really following util around, like, how you can follow around mollies and shock darts like this. Apparently the observers weren't following util around all tournament, and so this is like one of the few times they did it, and it looked like a miss. But so what's supposed to happen here in this context is the Sova here, who is Foxy for the side of Talon, who's playing mid. He's supposed to throw a recon straight away at the beginning of the round to there. And if there was a dart here, this would break it and would give effect off for the side of Talon that there might be some DRX plays towards this B main side of the map. So anyway, I'm just going to let that play out. Obviously there was no dart. So even though there's no dart, they actually end up throwing the dart right here. That DRX end up dodging because they just hide behind that line. So you're probably wondering as well, why are you reviewing the rest of the round? It's because I found actually what happens in the rest of this round quite interesting. It's nothing like super spicy that happens. For example, if this anti-recon dart, shock dart right here, actually ended up working, that's something spicy. But even though nothing special happens, I feel like it's just a really solid round from both teams in terms of what happens and how they end up playing just standard the rest of the round. So first we're going to talk about what happens towards this A main side of the map for DRX. I'm mostly going to be talking about DRX because they're the ones that kind of push the aggression and use the util quite effectively. So let's see what we have. So as I said, we had 3 towards A main here. And so all 3 of them went towards this rafter side, and 2 of them dropped down. So we have Foxy watching the push out here in case someone like a chamber pushes out from main, and because that's what chambers like to do, especially on pistol rounds and bonuses. And then we have Stacks on the Sage. He is watching the jail push in case they push the right side. So I'm just going to let this play out. So what you're going to see here is they kind of just don't want to get spotted to reveal too much information. But here they use the early drone just to try and clear out all the site. So, yep. So as you saw, that drone right there, it was used just behind Nest, and it scanned out all of this area. So close main, and even a little bit of site as well, and Jenny. So all of this area they know is confirmed. So what DRX are going to do is they are going to push up off of this. Actually, they're not going to push up. They're just going to clear this A main position and just hold it. That's all they're going to do for the next 30 or 40, like 30 seconds. All they're going to do is just hold this angle. Even though they know that no one, like the only positions they can really be playing is here or backside. That's the closest they could be playing. So they could get some early positioning close here and just hold it. But they don't want to. They don't want to risk giving away any information or risk being seen or giving away any kills. So all they're doing here is just holding this and playing super passive and quiet. And while that was happening, I'll recall it back to the beginning of the round when the shock dart missed. Something else was happening during the mid side of the map for DRX. So what happens is this Viper Roar comes up, very standard, towards mid, blocks out Foxy so he can't see anything, and also he doesn't know what's happening because they dodged the recon that he threw out bottom mid. And the 2 of them are lurking towards mid here. So what's gonna happen is, yep, there's gonna be a chamber trip right there. That gets triggered and they're gonna back off. If there wasn't a chamber trip there, what I expect would happen is for the 2 of them to just keep on pushing out, because since it's 2 of them, they can easily trade, and they probably know that they're playing quite weak towards this mid side of the map. But regardless, there was a chamber trip here. So let's talk about what the effect is. So as I mentioned, they were playing 3-1-1 like this, 3, and so specifically 1 towards mid. And so by breaking this chamber trip, what happens is the Viper, who originally only had to worry about the under tube lurk, because they had kitchen, only had to worry about under tube, and the Sova only had to worry about the push out towards screens. By breaking this trip, it breaks open the map heaps for the defense. It kind of, because now it was just one shot was fired, the trip was broken, and so they don't have any information on how many people are there or where they're going. So all of a sudden, Derek could be pushing out towards orange, could be pushing out towards halls, pushing out towards CT, towards screens, could be anywhere at this point. And so since all of this part of the defensive side of the map is now a question mark, the Viper and the Sova, instead of being able to just hold one angle and be certain, yep, DRX aren't pushing towards these angles, all of a sudden they have to play super passive and spread the map. Because here they were kind of playing quite tight, if you can see. You have 3 playing towards, basically towards either B main or on B site, and the 2 towards here, they're playing a little bit more passive, but towards screens / backside area. But because of this lurk, because of this chamber trip broken, all of a sudden, since the map breaks open, the Viper and the Sova have to be very careful and kind of we have to give up their positions. And you'll see it soon. The Sova, he's going to actually go back and try and clear out kitchen. So let's see what happens here. So after breaking the trip, they go back down tube. Mako throws up the Viper orb, but what happens here is Buzz, he actually TPs out all the way back to here. And that actually saves him about like 10 seconds of time. It doesn't really seem like much. Like you could just say, oh, he could just walk back. But this is very carefully planned out. The TP back saves them a lot of time. And because of the extra time, what they're able to do is go for this group up as 4 towards A main much earlier than they could have. The Viper orb goes down, and now they're grouped up as 4 towards A main. And so what you're going to see here is just a really fast push up. And since they used that drone early and controlled that space, they can quite safely say, and since they didn't hear any more util from Talon come out, they can safely say, we're pretty sure that no one should be close to us on site playing like 410 area. They could be backside, so just careful for that. You can't really see it because the quality is so bad, but Stacks actually Viper walls here, so they don't actually have to worry about like backside completely. So since it's just like 3 of them running in with numbers, they can be quite confident that, yeah, we don't need to be scared. We can just run in, wall off backside and get the plant. So that's what they're doing right now. But even though we have 4 towards... Oh my gosh, this quality is horrible. Anyway, even though there's 4 towards this A site, we have Mako, who he didn't regroup with his team, which is really good. He stayed on like kind of this lurk, and what he's going to do, his role here, is to make sure that no one flanks. He's just watching the sightline. He has the orb up, so he doesn't have to worry about his back. He knows no one's probably coming down this tube place, so he could get backstabbed, but he's just kind of hoping that he doesn't. But he can just watch the flank, and so by watching this angle from this mid position, not only is he holding an off angle, meaning he is most likely going to win the gunfight, which we'll see soon. But these 4 players here can play in super aggressive angles. You can see it here. All of them are playing, 3 of them are playing past generator. And this means that they can easily trade off each other and this type of stuff. So let's just see how this, I didn't mention it, but the Killjoy in the chamber, they pushed out of B main and broke the trip. And so we're going to see a gunfight break out between Mako and the 2 members of Talon. And you saw right there, the Killjoy was looking away. He wasn't expecting that lurk. Especially on a pistol round, you don't really expect to lurk like that. And is able to get that clean hit, clean kill, because he wasn't looking and was holding a really good off angle from that lurk. And even though they broke the trip, so the call was being like, they could be anywhere on the map, right? They still weren't expecting it, which was really good of them. So the chamber's there, he's going to take the fight. Mako loses, but he gets the chamber quite low. He's only down to like 30 HP. But because Mako dies, it's good for him to get 1 and a little bit more kills. But what that does is opens the possibility to the chamber lurking. So now the call is, guys, the chamber was lurking. Be careful, he could be flanking. So originally the plan was to fight as 4 on site with numbers advantage and like positioning advantage sort of thing. But because of this potential of a flank, all of a sudden DRX have to worry about the flank, and you see it right here. Both Buzz and Stacks, who were originally playing on site, they have to run all the way back and check the flank to make sure that the chamber isn't lurking. And so let's see what happens here. The chamber for Talon, he ends up deciding to regroup with his team towards screens, so he isn't flanking. And Buzz from DRX, he ends up checking the flank. He goes, okay, doesn't look like he's there, and he just runs to regroup with his team. So here comes the execute from the defense. Sova Dart comes out, and that actually scans up Foxy, who's playing under rafters. So he has to get into a safe position. He breaks it, throws down the cloud burst, and excellent job of just playing around it. He's, really good job of isolating these angles. Because, I wish I could rejoin it. But at this moment, he has only 1 angle open to him. Which is basically the rafters drop off, which you can hear. And isn't exposed to anyone else, maybe like pushing out from screens or anything. So it's a really good job. Because if you can see, there's 3 members of DRX, or the remaining 3 members of DRX. They're just playing behind 410, because they're walled off right now by a Viper wall. So it was really good job from Foxy to get one. He gets traded out quickly. And if you see in the kill feed here, actually you can't see it, I think my camera's blocking it. It's actually really annoying, the camera's blocking it. But Stacks actually gets... why is the minimap so bad quality? There we go. You didn't see it happen. I'm sure they'll show it in a second. But Stacks right here, he pushed past the Viper wall. While all this chaos is happening, there's the call, Jet under rafters. So you can imagine that there are a lot of people looking towards rafters or whatever. And because of all this chaos, the Chamber, who was looking probably somewhere else, he ends up getting taken down. So now it's a 3v2 in favor of Derek. So let's see how if Talon can get numbers advantage. So Stacks, he's in an awkward position. He's had to, because he pushed past the Viper wall, he was hiding behind Jin. He tries to get a swing out to try and maybe surprise Talon. But the Sova, he's playing in Nest. I don't think Stacks was expecting that. He was probably expecting someone maybe close. But Foxy on Sova, he's able to get the kill. But once again, even though the quality is a bit bad, you can see RB, he's been playing elbow this whole time. And because Stacks dies, and they're engaging on this gunfight right here, the calls, or maybe there isn't a call, but this kind of lets RB know, okay, now it's my time to fight. Because you want to try and catch them off guard. So I believe RB pushes out right now. Yep, RB pushes out of elbow and tries to take this fight and ends up winning it because Foxy ran out of ammo. So now it's a 1v2 for Jit Boys. So while all this was happening, since they kind of secured site, Jit Boys is like, finally, okay, it's safe to put up my Sage Wall. So now he Sage Walled off the bomb, and he knows where both members are. He knows Buzz is towards 410 because he tried to shoot the wall. He was shooting the wall, and he knows where RB is because he just know that he just killed Foxy on server. So what he does here is he gets it half because he knows that he's safe enough. As soon as he gets it half, he can hear RB running up here, stamping his feet, and so he can just look there immediately. He takes a slight step back to get a favorable gunfight, so he's not on top of bomb where RB expects him to be, and gets a nice headshot. The wall's still up, so he goes, okay, I'm gonna stick this. But then he realizes that the wall, it's all shattered. Look at this. It's all broken. It's 1 HP. This whole time, Buzz has just been firing ghost bullets into this. So he goes, oh, I can't stick this. I don't have enough time to stick behind the Sage Wall. So what he does is he actually gets off it and prepares to take the gunfight. Even though he was low HP, he prepares to take the gunfight, hoping that Buzz's aim is kind of disorientated from shooting the Sage Wall and doesn't expect Jit Boys to be off the bomb. And clean headshot from there, 15 HP, and he's able to just stick the bomb. Right there. And apparently this was like one of the few rounds that other casters actually say it, but this was one of the few rounds that few pistol rounds that DRX actually lost, because in this tournament it's a bunch of noob teams. DRX obviously top 3 at champs, and then you have other teams like Talon and other teams. I think Genji was also participating in it, who are newly formed teams who are kind of working out their kinks and stuff. So they won basically all of their pistol rounds except for this one. And so yeah, that's the reason I kind of highlighted it. I thought that all around this was, even though this was kind of a standard pistol round in the way that everything played out, I felt like everything kind of went well, and there are a lot of examples of how to play the map, like breaking the trip, creating all this pressure, the lurk here to watch flank, playing on site and playing post retakes and these types of things, and how to take gunfights. So I felt like there was a lot exercised, and I didn't even know this round existed. The whole reason I checked out this round in the first place was because of this missed shock dart over here. That's the whole reason I checked out this VOD. And the thing is, it was even though this was supposed to be an anti-recon dart, and there was no recon dart thrown out by Talon towards this position, it ended up still being a cool round to review. I didn't really expect this, because my whole plan was like, let me work out what Derek's plan is. Oh, it didn't work out. But because of this, even though the whole purpose of this was to break the recon and to sell this kind of fake, because it's like, oh, maybe there's someone playing towards B, even though they regrouped as 4 towards the A side of the map. Even though this kind of, I guess, failed, this shock dart failed, everything still ended up working out as normal. When you think about it, they still executed with their plan completely normal. Look up towards tube, break the trip, then go back, regroup as 4. The early Sova drone to clear out all of this area, early sight. I just thought this was a really cool round to review. So even though there was no spicy strat with the anti-recon dart to break down, this was a really good round. So even though, you know, there might not be any official tournaments happening in the off season, we've still got content. So I hope you enjoyed. I feel like this review went on for a little bit too long, so sorry about that. But if you have any ideas of what you want me to do, content you want me to put out, just let me know. Comment section, like, subscribe, all that stuff. I have some more content planned. I want to do the top 100 players of Valorant pre-franchise era, and I also want to do team reviews for the franchising teams and maybe rank all of them from 1 to 30. But I'm not sure if all the teams have been officially announced yet, so I'll just wait until that. So until then, thanks for watching, and bye.